What is up guys, last patch actually shook up the meta a fair bit and we've seen a bunch of new picks suddenly come in and start to wreck solo queue. Remember, this is my opinion backed up with a bunch of stats and facts and research to bring you some of the best overall picks. This is another video with the folks over at Pro Guides helping me with the editing, and you can check them out down below, but let's jump right in with AD carry. So second spot is Lucian, and one of the most well-rounded AD carries I think. He's got a bit of everything which makes him a very solid pick. I really wanted to stick Kalista here, but I'm going to bench my personal bias and say that Lucian is just better in general for solo queue. You have high damage and it's very easy damage. It's not hard to pull that damage off. Like, it's pretty simple. You just dive in and use your passive properly between abilities. He's a lane bully. He sets you in a good spot for the game coming out ahead, and it's a lot easier to play with a lead than from behind. He has some good poke, where especially with his ultimate actually it really hurts, and that's the other thing too. Like in team fights, you can do damage from range with your ultimate and still have an impact even when it's not safe to auto. He's good versus assassins, he's safe with his dash, and his W speed up with his ult proccing it. Like, that's a lot of damage. You just ult someone as they're running at you. He's really kind of champion that you can show your skill with. Like, he's kind of easy to play, simple to pick up, but he has enough room in his kit to outplay people too. Alright, so you remember I just said it's a lot easier to play with a lead, so let's play lane bullies, right? Well, let's throw that out the window and look at Cogmore instead. Cog is well worth getting a bit behind in lane, and honestly he's not as weak as he used to be early either. The fervor buff combined with the direct buff to Cog has put him way over the top right now. W giving attack speed means you deal the percentage damage faster, but you also stack fervor so fast. Like, fervor is actually insane on Cog right now. Just by right clicking someone, you're doing your auto damage plus your W percent damage plus fervor damage, so all of that rolled into one. Item wise, he's set 2. Ginzu's into Runins is great on him, like really good, and lucky for him both these items are in a really strong spot anyway. He has some self peel with his ooze, and we can now max that second because attack speed was moved away from his Q. Like, you don't even need a ranking Q anymore. It's funny, like his Q is useless, his ult is kind of useless too, but he just does so much bloody damage. Okay, mid lane, welcome to the League of Assassins. Let's start with the obvious, why not Zed? And well, basically QSS can stop Zed and nothing is gonna stop Talon. Talon is a true king of one shot. He just literally can kill you in one rotation of his spells, and it's pretty scary too. He doesn't even need his ultimate to poop on you, honestly. Like, I've seen a Talon ult to run at someone for the speed up and one shot them. I've seen him jump in one shot and then run away with his ultimate. He really doesn't need it. He has a pretty decent lane phase after the first few levels, and unlike most assassins, he actually doesn't have to wait until 6 to get a really big spike in power. Did I mention his damage? Because he has a lot of damage, by the way, and I guess that's the last thing. It's not very hard to get his damage off. It's kind of a simple rotation, and he just snowballs really hard. The first spot is going to be Lux, and actually, funnily enough, kind of because of the League of Assassins. Lux is strong anyway, has been for a few patches, but she's one of the few mages who can actually deal quite well with assassins. Now, if you get behind and you poop your pants, then yeah, assassins are going to farm the lovely low health Lux over and over, but that's pretty hard to do, honestly. She has long range farm and poke with her spells. She has a shield that makes it really hard to die in lane. Her bind and ultimate to burst people from range, so she doesn't even have to go close to fights really, or put herself in danger to do her job well. When fights do break out, you have huge AoE damage, you have huge bursts, and a huge shield to protect your team, so it's not even like you're just doing damage to one person, you're doing damage to a bunch of people. Moving on to the jungle, this has been shaken up quite a bit since the last patch actually. This first one was actually just kind of forced into the meta by Riot with a pretty ridiculous buff. Xin was okay anyway, he wasn't weak, he just wasn't top tier. They went a little bit overboard with his buff and he's doing really well right now. Again, actually similar to Cogmore, it's the champion and the items. Devourer and Ginzu's is just a dumb nasty combo that does some real serious damage. It helps with Xin's guaranteed crit and his healing, so we've got a really high damage guy who heals. That's really nice. We only have to build those 2 damage items and then go full tank. He might not be the best early, but he has such an amazing late game. It is way worth it, and you can easily turn a game around, which is great to have in solo queue. He actually has okay clear and okay ganks, even though people tend to just farm on him, and he's very simple to play. He's kind of almost like a Master Yi right now. So at number 1, honestly, what were you expecting, guys? Come on, the lovely Udyr himself. I permaban this guy because I hate him. He's irritating, he's so annoying, and he can really carry a game completely by himself. He's not very hard to play, he's great at every elo, and he can either kill everyone or just like split push and take towers. He has a lot of options for the game. I'm not gonna lie, he's probably the most irritating champion to play against. He's so fast, you can't ever catch him unless he wants to fight you, and then you just can't run away from him. The new AP item is one of the things that's really taken him over the top right now. It gives him amazing clear and amazing damage. I think actually while it's obviously good, it's kind of more the combination of that plus the Iceborne Gauntlet that is really insane though. That does way too much damage together. He has good ganks, good clear, and only gets stronger as the game goes on. I think it's kind of a combination of a lot of items coming together, but he is in a really good spot at the moment and loves this kind of chaos style that solo queue is right now. So let's go for support, and see, I didn't put you guys last this time, so the one support main that watches my videos can be happy now. Okay, so runner up Alistar, and I actually wanted to put Soraka here, I'm not gonna lie. I think like gold and below, she is probably the best support, even after nerfs, because you cannot deal with her and people don't focus her, so you really end up keeping everyone alive. Anyway, Alistar is way more proactive and better in general, so we are gonna go with him. The change now so you can buff your WQ is pretty good, and it makes playing against him a little bit harder actually. Whether you realized it or not, most people didn't instantly combo. There will be kind of a little delay, but now it's just instant every time. He's a really good pick for lane and setting up ganks or kills, which makes him pretty solid actually in the current meta, pretty aggressive AD carries. He's great at diving. It's the main reason he's so good when he's ahead, because you can either roam and dive or just dive your own lane. He's actually good peel or engage. He's a bit more versatile than some of the other tanky picks, which makes him really actually good for solo queue. So number 1, Janna. I hate putting Janna on lists like this. Like, this is the support that people play if you just want to get carried. Saying that though, if you play her properly, she is a monster. She is way too effective at what she does. That shield is great for fighting in lane. The AD is underrated, especially if the shield isn't removed quickly. The Q tornado actually helps with that. Like, the knockup makes your shield last longer because they're disabled, so it increases your damage output too. The ultimate heals for a ton. Displacement can be used to cancel a lot of abilities. Basically, she is just the best defensive support. So versatile, so effective, and so safe with boots of swiftness. So last up, we're going to the top lane, and the second spot is Urgot. Now I'm just trolling you guys, it's Trundle, you get it? Yeah, can't be a fire video without at least one pun, come on guys. Now Malphite could also be here, but I don't want to keep putting him here, and Trundle is just as good, maybe even better at carrying games. He has a really good lane phase actually. I can't think of anyone who can fight this guy when you have your ultimate active, even when you're behind. This is actually a pretty major thing too, because most people don't know how he works all that well, so they don't know to run away when you ult. It kind of baits people in and you can take advantage. You get really tanky with your ultimate and your build. You actually have an insane amount of damage with only a few items, and people are not going to expect that much damage from a Trundle. Your key bite really hurts, and you have this added utility of like your speed up, your attack speed, and your pillar, so it makes it hard to escape you. This top spot is actually really weird. Like, if this was for challengers, then Gangplank would be best. If this was for bronze, then Poppy would be best, but somewhere in the middle is Fiora. Fiora is like a simpler version of Gangplank, same carry style but tankier and easier to play. She has high mobility, good damage, can build pretty tanky too, and even has that riposte, which is so annoying. Her ultimate is great for team fights or the lane phase or just any time. The sustain is crazy, and to be honest, once Fiora starts rolling and getting ahead, there's not much you can do to stop her. That's really why she's here and why a lot of people ban her, why she's so good at lower elo. It's just if she gets ahead, she normally stays ahead, and that's so hard to deal with. Whether you team fight or you split push, you're going to have a big impact in the game, and I don't think you can really ask for more from a top laner. Anyway, that wraps up the best champions for solo queue right now in my opinion, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks again to Pro Guys for editing this. They've actually set up their own YouTube channel with a few free videos, so go check that out if you want some more to watch. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, share, and for now, I'll catch you in my next video.